Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Google Maps for Business webinar. We'll just wait for a couple of minutes for some more people to join and then get started. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Google Maps for Business. This webinar is going to be held by Google and Sears. This is a quick agenda for today. We'll be going through an introduction to Sears, Google Maps premier partner in India, Southeast Asia, and USA. Then we'll have Jolly Ahuja, who's joined us from Google. She's basically the sales lead for Google Maps across India and Asia Pacific. We'll then look at the why behind Google Maps, and we'll look at some custom solutions on top of Google Maps APIs that we have developed in-house and how these can be used across various use cases for any businesses. We look at some recent deployments, and we'll quickly end with some Q&A. This webinar should take about 45 minutes to an hour or so, including the Q&A. And there is a form link posted on the comment section, and you can also see it on top here, where you can post any questions that you might have. You can also comment in the YouTube live section for any questions. So let's get started. A quick introduction to Sears. We have been working in the IT consulting space for over 12 years now, and we have been closely associated with Google for the past decade or so. Our engagement model is very business outcome driven, and we like to look at our customers as our partners. We try to develop a co-vision with them and consult with them to understand how our services and our team can be part of their overall strategy. And our specialty lies in cloud automation analytics. In the cloud, we are premier partners with Google, and we have been so for the past several years. And this partnership is now global in nature because we are premier partners with Google for cloud maps as well as G Suite in multiple geographies across the world. As I told you, we work in cloud analytics and automation. There are various services available across the board, and companies normally reach out to us for multiple use cases with relation to project management, analytics, machine learning implementations around cloud architecture, cloud migration. And in the Google Maps part, we have been working on a host of services with relation to location intelligence. And we've been also working closely on various new age use cases. If many of you have seen the recent Google I/O 2018, you might have seen how Google Maps has also been seeing some huge developments from the AI and ML part as well. So all that is what we work with. This is basically a quick look at some of the products that we are associated with. You'll see the entire Google suite of products in the middle pane. And there are other proprietary products that we work with, which are related to project management, CRM, ERP solutions, and there is also an in-house HRMS suite that we have developed. All these are part of the stable of products that Sears works with across organizations, across business verticals. Today, we'll be focusing completely on Google Maps, since it's one of the most exciting new age technologies that we have worked with so far. I'll hand this over now to Jolly to take this ahead, and she'll take us through a few slides on location intelligence. So, Jolly, over to you now.
Thank you, Vineet. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining this webinar. In my next 10 to 15 minutes, I'll try to speak more about location, couple of use cases, and feel free to register your questions at the link shared above, and I would take the questions after the webinar. So please feel free to ask as many questions as you want to. Give me a moment. The deck is loading. Yeah. So location, by the time deck loads, I'll try to give some context that, Google as a mission has always been the bold one to organize the world information. And by organizing the world information, we have provided three different use cases as far as geo is related. The first is the one where you use day in, day out to plan your travel, to move from one place to another. The second use case is around the places around you. These places could be hotels, restaurants, anything around you. And the third one is Google Earth, which helps you in exploring the earth without leaving your seats. It basically helps you check the weather. If there's some miss happening anywhere, it is every time available over Google. So all these use cases are supported by Google Geo team. If I have to take you down the memory lane 10 years back when we were traveling, this was our mode of and our means of travel, the paper map. We used to carry this paper map and start our journey. 10 years later, what Google has done, they have actually digitized the entire world's data. And by digitizing the entire world's data, by providing location to it, moving it to our maps. I don't mean it for a country or for a state. I mean it for the entire world. And not just that, now when you go to the googlemaps.com, you can actually predict the travel time, which is like, a leave now feature on your left. So say tomorrow you want to check how much time would it take to move from point A to point B, or maybe a month later, you can do that using the leave now feature. We knew that, just giving a web experience won't be sufficient, especially in the countries like India, China, especially the Asia Pacific countries where the mobile population is growing day by day. We have a highest mobile penetration in the world. So it was very important for Google to bring all of these features over a mobile, and that's what we have done. So today you use your mobile consumer application of maps to travel. You use it to find a nearest location around you, say a restaurant. And not just that, it also tells you many things like, companies like Oyo Rooms, etc. They use it to have their own pointers over the map. And the last one is Street View, which is unfortunately not available in India. But globally, Street View is one of the best API and the one best product we have from Geo. Location is always the center of your business. You name a business, you tell me any aspect of your business, and I'll tell you how location can be important to you. Just to give you certain numbers, 60% of any business data is a geo data. So it is a center of business. Giving you some more context, when demonetization struck us 2 years back, the first thing all of us wanted to see was the nearest ATMs or nearest grocery shop who would accept any form of transaction other than cash. Today, when I take out, say, I want to eat sushi, or want to eat a specific dish, when I type sushi on mobile, I don't get Wikipedia or a definition of a sushi. What I would get, the restaurants who would provide me the best sushi around me. So that is the power of location, and that is the way our users are moving, and they want to have their queries answered through location specific data. The four use cases which we see day in and day out revolves around these four parameters. The first one is display, which means displaying map over your website. It could be for displaying location, for picking the data of your users. So first one is the display. The second one is go, which we use day in and day out for the navigation purpose. The third one is locate. Locate is one step ahead navigation, in which you just don't provide the navigation, but you also do the tracking purpose. So most of the company, if you want to track your fleet, you want to track people on the ground, even in the case of IoT, you use locate as a feature to tell and depict the location of the device. The last one is explore. By explore, I mean exploring the world. So you as I said earlier, you sitting at your location, you may want to explore hotels around you, or you have booked a hotel for your parents and you want to book a hotel, exploring the fact that there is some metros, some railways or temples around it, so that your parents doesn't have to suffer much while traveling. So these are the things which enterprises are using it in building their business. Giving you one example of a display. So this is in a company, Allstate. Allstate is an insurance company. They have used maps quite quite nicely, and the way they use map is they ask the location from a user. Okay, so when you go to an Allstate website, you need to enter your location, and it's an insurance company. It checks your location and it provides you insurance code as per your location. It's not a generic code. Most of us would agree to it that today we get a lot of call from an insurance company or a credit card company, and most of the time we disconnect the call because those are the generic calls. But just imagine if I need to if I need to get an insurance and I get a quote as per my location, based upon the crime rate, based upon the natural calamity rate, based upon XYZ factor, and that would be very unique to my choice of code. So that's what this company is doing it. They provide a code as per the user ask. So, and just by implementing the simple feature of location, what they found was there was a 20% users completed the experience. That's what I said at the beginning of this slide, that completing a user experience for a cases like a credit card company or an insurance company is crucial, because we don't do that. But by implementing location, this company saw an increase of 20%. Not just that, around there was also more and more visitors visiting their website, which means they were asking more and more quotes. They were experiencing more and more prospects and leads just by implementing location to their application and web page. So next use case is Go. Go is something, so you start from the time you book your cab, from the time you sign off from the cab. At every point, Google Maps APIs are called. So for it, right from the time you book your cab, which means picking up your location. Say, I don't want to book a cab for myself. I want to go book a cab for a friend who is not at my location, but at some other location, which means picking up their location, to providing directions to the driver, giving you a distance, giving you an estimated fare, and finally signing off from the cab. So all these things are done using Maps API at the backend. And not just that, these companies also track you to ensure your safety. Lyft has done this beautifully, and by using all of these API beautifully, they have witnessed around 2 million rides shared per month, which is quite a big number considering Lyft is present in most of the US cities. So they are expanding, and they are present in 200 plus cities, and they connect around 100,000 drivers to the commuters, which is a big number if you talk about it. The next use case is locate. As I said, locate is something over and above navigation. So anytime you want to track your asset, track your people. Not just that, if giving you an example, a different example from an IoT context, the companies even want to track, so say a printer company, they want to track the movement of a printer, so that anytime the printer is down or it has some technical glitches, they don't have to send an engineer on the location to do the rectification. If they know the location, probably they could do it, sitting at some of their base location. So that's what they are doing it. Not just that, printers keep on moving from one location to another, and when it happens, it involves a lot of configuration. Every time that it moves to a new location. So why not? If we know the location, we can do the configuration without making an engineer travel to that place. This is a printer's example. Not just that, companies like, they even TV manufacturing companies. Today's the world of smart TVs and smart world altogether. So if I have a smart TV and I am sitting in France, probably I don't want to see soaps and movies in English or in Hindi or any other language. I just want to see content which is specific to my location, which is French or Italian or any other language, which is only possible if the user if has depicts the location and the company has the location of the user. So as soon as they know that my smart TV is placed in a city in France, they would just display the content in French, making it very user specific. DPD is one such example. DPD is a courier company which uses Google Maps API in their daily business. So today, 5 years back, when we had to reschedule a courier, we actually had to reschedule it by 2 days in advance. And in this world, when we are traveling, we don't know, maybe in next few hours I have to take a flight and travel somewhere. I can't predict and I can't reschedule my courier much in advance. I need it on time, real time basis, right? So that's what this company is doing it. So what you could do is reschedule your courier at any time and DPD, by implementing Google Maps, what they have done, they do around 3.6 millions of parcels are delivered every day. 50,000 delivery experts use Google Maps, and they connect more than 27,000 points. So when you see on the right hand side, actually there's a guy who's known as Brian. He's currently making delivery number 25, and your delivery number is 34, and your home is 15 minutes away. So you know that. So when you open their application, you know that, and you can plan your day accordingly. The next use case is around Swiggy. We all of us know about Swiggy. They help us in getting hot food. So Swiggy uses Google Maps API to connect local shops, mom and pop shops, to the users, and they do it in such an efficient way. Reason being, they understand their customer, they understand the routes and the time it would take for a delivery guy to reach a location. And Swiggy found a very good results after implementing Google Maps API. If I have to give some numbers, 80% of Swiggy orders are from repeat customer, which actually means that customers are using more and more Swiggy as an application to get the food. And not just that, Swiggy is able to retain those customers, which is a big ask in today's world. Thousands of drivers and handles tens of thousands of order. Just imagine, all of us know about the traffic in India, especially in Mumbai, Delhi, or in Bangalore, where traffic is really dense, especially in peak hours. So if the driver knows, if they're making so much of delivery, which means they know the right route. 25% per month growth of hyperlocal delivery services. So they are connecting more and more hyperlocal restaurants to the users, and by this way, these like hyperlocal restaurants, they are seeing growth in their business as well. So this is what Swiggy is doing. The last use case which we see around enterprises is Explore. So Tripping is a website which helps you organizing your travel. It could be your dream location, your dream vacation, or anything. So for an example, if I have to go to say Paris and I need to find rentals in Paris, so I will just type Paris and it would display me rentals in the Paris, but there will be so many rentals in the Paris which may or may not be useful to me. I will be staying, say, near to the Eiffel Tower, so I only want the rentals and hotels which is next to Eiffel Tower. That makes my travel easier. So what this website would do, since they know my location and they have rentals registered to their website, they will only provide me information of rentals which is as per my location, which is near to Eiffel Tower, without giving me tens of the other locations. Which, and by just implementing this feature, they are making it very user friendly and specific to my demand, and that's what Tripping did, and the results were quite great. So they found around 2,390% of increase in monthly revenue, which was quite huge, and they were having more and more unique visitors. So, it is said that lesser the number of clicks, higher is the chances of converting a prospect to a customer. And that's what this company has done. They have reduced the number of clicks. All of us have gone through, if I have to go to a website and I have to make 10 clicks to order one, say a sandwich, or just to book a hotel for myself, I would never go to that website again. So that's what this company has done. They have removed the intermediary clicks or pages, and just by getting your location to display the result as per your query, which is great. So all India in your pocket, giving Indian examples: Swiggy, Ola, Oyo. Three of them uses Google Maps for different things. They customize it. They use their own data over Google Maps, and they also contribute in consumer applications. So when you go to Oyo rooms, you actually can have pointers which is telling you the cost of an hotel, and that cost could be in INR, in USD, or any other currency. So which actually means you can have markers customized as per your requirement. Using a full platform, so we have a lot of APIs which you could use for your web, for your Android and iOS, which actually means we are not very platform specific. Then we have a lot of web services API which you use day in and day out. Places API, it will take time if I start explaining all the API. But highlighting few very important API is one, Places API, which actually helps you get a lot of data about the places around you, POI information, opening hours, closing hours. We are now working on various machine learning algorithms, so that even we provide you information like footfall details. So if I have to plan my travel to a mall, probably I would see when the footfall is low, so that I can go in a not non-crowded time. And another very useful API is Roads API. So which actually means when your truck is moving or a vehicle is moving, so GPS keeps on going in a weird. It behaves in a very weird way, from one place to another. But by Roads API, you can actually snap those GPS point to the road, and it provides direction in a very clean and clear way, so that you can plan the beetroot plan for your delivery folks much in advance. These are few customers across industries, telecom, logistics, and it's growing. So you name an industry. So most of these industries, they use Google Maps, and the use case could be different. That's the reason I said, you tell me your use case and we can discuss how maps can be useful to you. But it could be a telecom industry, a logistic industry, travel, automotive, real estate, smart cities. Another thing which we are seeing, a great location specific use case are coming from smart city. Gaming is another industry which we see. So all these industries, they are using location as the center of their business. So how do we get it? So what do you need to do after this presentation? Whenever you have some time, please go through our website, and you'll have a lot of information. What I have spoken so far, everything is available online, even the success stories of customers. Feel free to reach out to our salespeople. You can also log in and read a lot of content. So Google Maps is changing. We are coming up with a new phase very shortly, but you'll have a lot of information on our blogs and on our website. I think I'm done with my presentation. Any questions? I'm ready to take all those questions towards the end of this presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Jolly. This was great. So Jolly has already covered a breadth of use cases across business verticals, and you might have already thought of how some of these can be useful for you. There are some more interesting questions that business leads and visionaries normally think about. So that's what we'll probably look at now. Some of these questions could be, how would you like to improve efficiency or integrate location-based intelligence into sales and distribution? Or how do you go about organizing your assets and personnel in the field through tracking? How How would you like to facilitate your management and decision making? Or how would you efficiently manage jobs in the field without costly or complex technology? You would want to do all this remotely, right? Or you can also ask yourselves how to empower users, how to restore service, increase customer satisfaction. Then there are other questions related to which is more customer centric in terms of how to empower customers with information to obviously increase purchases, how you would monitor or track consumer spending, and then be able to offer customized offers, deals based on their location. And finally, all this boils down to a very pertinent question on how can we empower management with visual information to drive business growth. All these questions can be answered very simply just with a map, Google Maps. There are four major use cases that Google Maps works with. One, obviously, is visualization. You have lots of data that comes with Google Maps APIs that can be quickly used for your own application or for an application that you would like to implement for your consumers or for the market in general. So you can visualize maps, you can visualize directions, distance, you can visualize your assets, your people, where your field force is, where all your office locations are. A demo that comes after these slides will showcase how we have done it for a couple of clients. The second major use case is around location services. Obviously, there are lots more things that you can do with Google Maps and location. Things like advanced geofencing for simple attendance marking, or you can integrate advanced IoT. You can have location sharing for your employees, for your customers. You can do lots of things with location services. The third part that's very important is location intelligence. There's lots and lots of historical data that Google Maps has already got based on the kind of exposure and the crowdsourcing that it has done over the past decade and more. Using this, we are able to build models around semantic location and machine learning to be able to derive various insights about a particular location. And this can then be used for various business decisions that you'd like to make. Finally, the most elaborate use case, movement optimization, comes without being said. It's important for every industry, be it logistics, manufacturing, retail, being able to view your supply chain, being able to monitor real-time movement, being able to optimize routes and create advanced algorithms. All this becomes very important if there's any kind of transportation involved in the line of business that you're working in. Like I told you before, there are various custom solutions that can be developed over Google Maps APIs. We'll just showcase a couple of them to you here. And before we get on to the demo, this is how Google Maps APIs are structured. On the base layer, you have the entire foundation of Google Maps. You have all the places data, you have directions data, you have the traffic layer integrated, and lots more things that you can do. On top of that, you build with your own data. You would have locations of your company. You would have even things like your sales figures. You would also have things like customers, where they are located, where is their demand coming up from. You can customize all that using distinct imagery. You can customize it by adding your own keywords, your own internal lingo. And finally, you can also integrate it with third-party data. Say you want to look at your demand in a particular area, and also on top of that, add a layer of population, add a layer of demographics or income segments. This will again give you a much better perspective of your business and why business is coming from one area and why it's not coming from another area. The use cases can be anything here. So this is Searce's S-Track suite of solutions. There are various solutions that we've already developed and continue to build on our product line. You'll see a couple of them right now, but if you'd like to view any of these solutions later on, we'll be sending out a follow-up email after the webinar, and we can set up customized demos for you and follow-up calls around any of these applications. So just quickly looking at these, there is a complete cab hailing, ride sharing application that's been developed, a personnel tracking solution, which is integrated with our HRMS suite. Then there's a school bus tracking application, which is very important now with the kind of focus on student safety that has been happening primarily in India in the past few months. Then there's a tool for address validation that has been internally developed There are lots of companies who get addresses filled by their employees or by customers on simple forms, and they might not have differentiated it into, say, district, region, pin code, even the latitude and longitude of the address to be able to pinpoint it onto a map. So that tool helps in validating addresses and parsing it to ensure that you're able to differentiate the various fields of an address. Then there are a couple of vehicle tracking and maintenance solution applications. These come with or without a GPS device. It's up to you to choose. You can do it with a mobile app or you do it with a GPS device itself. And finally, we have been working with indoor mapping a lot. Our team is able to perform indoor mapping of venues, 360-degree views, floor plans, and integrate it into your application or a customer-facing website. This finds a lot of use in, say, the education industry or real estate, and even retail sometimes. So we'll just look at a couple of sample demos on how it all comes through. Let me just change the tab here. This is a demo of one of our vehicle tracking systems. We just got the home screen here. You will see that there are various modules in which you can add drivers, you can look at maintenance reports, you can see which trips your vehicles are on. We'll just focus on the home screen for now. You can see a quick summary of the various trucks that are available right now. So there are a total of 12 trucks, 3 moving, 1 idling, and there are 8 stationary. So you would also see some notifications here that some of these trucks were overspeeding. You would also find notifications for harsh braking. You can see average ignition on time, etc., etc. If I click on any of these icons here, I'll just zoom in and be able to see where the truck is at any given point of time. I can click on the truck and get details of which company is using this truck and what is the status right now. I can also click on ETA and be able to get a starting point and destination. If I add anywhere, say I add Google Gurgaon, I can quickly just click on it and show it on a map how far it is, how long it will take, and send this off to our customers. So this application is based on a simple SaaS model. You don't have to look at any high upfront costs. All you have to look at it is a very simple upfront refundable deposit for the devices in case you'd like to go ahead with that. And after that, it's a per vehicle monthly cost that you have to bear for the software. We can go in detail with a detailed demo for any of you would like to see that. Another application is the Google Maps GIS dashboard, again developed internally. This can be seen as a management visualization tool. In this, what this basically is showing right now, as you can see here in the legend, you can see the registered offices, plants, warehouses, and you can see all the various kinds of categories that have been mentioned here. I can quickly filter from this, or I can click on any of these icons and be able to see what it is all about. You'll get details of the manager, city, state. You can also have any more details with relation to, say, the store timings, office timings, etc. I'll go further down and click on other modules. So there are about 9 to 10 modules here built within the GIS dashboard. I'll just click on, say, sales tracking. This is a crude form of the sales tracking application that we have built out. So you can see that various sales people are being tracked here. If we click on any one of these salespeople, we'll see complete details of the person. We can also add things like target achieved. We can add when was he last seen, what was his last closure, or who is he meeting today. All these details can be added and updated on a real-time basis. It can directly sync up with your existing, say, CRM solution or your existing ERP or SAP, anything. If I click here on any one of these salespeople, you'll see that a complete report opens up on the Google Maps application itself. And you can see various details here. Even looking at the reporting manager, you can also enter a message here, good job done, and have it sent from the Maps application directly without having to leave the application. So these are the things that can be done using sales tracking. Then obviously, there is asset tracking. There are defining business geographies. Many companies, particularly focused on sales, consulting, have their own internal demarcations of business geographies. So this application can help define those geographies because We basically have the KML files, the shape files of entire India mapped out. And as soon as you select your region, you know which all states fall into it. The map shows it up in an interactive manner. You can also plot your salespeople there and be able to see it in a very well-defined manner. So there are quite a few applications like these that can be worked on. And we'd be more than happy to take you through detailed demos of these during our follow-up. So how does it all work? The basic premise of Google Maps is to be able to see information in more meaningful ways. So this is how we perceive information right now, be it on spreadsheets or be it on docs, etc. We look at numbers, we calculate, etc. So what we essentially are trying to do is change the way we visualize information and put it all on a map. This makes a lot of sense when you're trying to do reporting for your management or internal audits of sales or internal reviews with your teams. This becomes very interesting to visualize everything on a map. And again, looking back at how we had developed these applications on top of the basic layer of Google Maps, we added lots more layers like you saw. We can add our own internal salespeople. We can add various other details that are available from third-party sources as well. Finally, just to round up and get done with this webinar, we'll quickly look at why is here. So you can obviously get started on Google Maps on the console with the standard plan, but the reason why Google also recommends that you work with a partner is because of the domain expertise we bring in and the experience that we have. We work across various companies and we have over almost 1,300 clients that we have already future-defined. And some of these are one of the largest names, and there are lots of startups as well in this. And we have worked across business verticals, and the use cases are tremendous. And it will be very exciting to actually work with you on your use cases. So we work with consulting, licensing, deployment, and services across the suite of products of Google. So there are quite a few times when companies come to us and ask us on how to optimize their usage, how to help them understand which license or which API is best suited to their use case. That's where we come in and help out with that and ensure that your spending on Google Maps as well is optimized. And in case you need help with any other cloud products on hosting your application or understanding where to move your infrastructure, all these things are taken care of by Google's premier partners and Sears in this case. So that's what comes with being associated with a partner, with Google's premier partner. Finally, we'd like to end here by just giving you a quick question here. Location transformation is here, and are you ready to futurify? This is a term we've coined, and we like to use it a lot. It's important to be able to look at the digital transformation occurring across the world and taking steps to ensure that your organization is one step ahead, always. Finally, as next steps, like I said, if any of these use cases were pertinent to you, we'd be sending out a follow-up mail, and you can reply to that, and we'll be more than happy to set up a time slot at a mutually suitable time and show you a complete demo of these use cases. You can also test Google Maps APIs for your own application. We can also help you with an API key here. And in case you're ready to go ahead with licensing, we'd be more than happy to assist you in ensuring that you go ahead with an optimized number of licenses. And obviously, in integration, our Google certified engineers are always available for any kind of support or assistance with implementation and deployment. So that's about it from us. We are open to Q&A. And Jolly, if there's anything else you'd like to add, you can do so, please.
No, I'm good. Happy to take the questions, if any.
Sure, let me just open the questions. I have a few questions. We'll maybe take a couple of them for paucity of time. So there is a question. I have an Android app that I'm using currently on standard plan. When will I need to purchase a license? Jolly, you want to take that, or should I just give a brief on this?
Go ahead, Vinit. Go ahead.
Sure. So you're right. If you're using an Android app and you're on standard plan, you can continue using it. What is important to see here is the use case. is the use case external in nature? Is the application publicly available to anyone in the world to use? Then it's okay to move ahead with a standard plan. In case it is an internal use case and the login or the access to the application is restricted to, say, employees of your company or your client, if it's an application you're developing for your client, then according to Google Maps terms of service, you would need to be on the premium plan. And even if it's an external application, there are sometimes cases when the daily usage limits are hit and the application's Google Maps API's bit can fail for that day. So you should always keep a check on the amount of usage of your Maps APIs. So that's when the standard plan and premium plan have to be checked and understood when to use which. We can obviously take this ahead over a follow-up call as well. There is another question on YouTube Live by Akash. How are you tracking those people on Maps? Do we need permission of their devices, or is there any other options? What API does that use? Great question, Akash. So these are our own employees. What happens is we've built an internal application using Google Maps APIs, and these applications are obviously it's within the company's policies, and these applications are used by our field sales personnel for a designated period of time. They can always switch off the application when they are not using it, or decide not to go live on any given day when they are not working. So this application basically tracks them using something called Google Maps Premium Plan for Asset Tracking. This is similar to the license that Uber or Ola use when we are able to see when our car is arriving, and also during a trip, we're able to track our exact trip. So that's the same APIs that are used here. It's based out of an Android and iOS application. And on the back end, we have a web application that can do lots of things. We can also look at reporting manager. We can look at their daily attendance, get reports of their monthly attendance, etc., etc. So all that can be done using the application. And it uses various APIs, part of the asset tracking license, be it geocoding, directions, distance API, and also obviously the JavaScript API for the map load. Okay. There is a question, can Google Maps be used directly from my Google Cloud console? Yes, you can use Google Maps directly from the Cloud console as well. But there are some APIs that you can quickly enable and start using it. But for Google Maps right now in India, there is another dedicated console as well called console.developers.google.com. You can go there and start using Maps APIs. You can also use it from the Cloud console as well. And it's a good thing to do it. You can also get reports of your usage. And if you're on the premium plan, you also get access to the premium plan support portal, which comes with even more advanced usage analytics. You get 24/7 technical support assistance, and other features are available as part of it. You can also track various, say you have group companies or separate projects that you want to track. You can get detailed reports out of the premium plan support portal as well on Google Maps. There is a question by Rabindra saying on how we can use it for a law firm. So Rabindra, there are various use cases that we can work on. If you want to, say if it's an internal application for visualizing your presence right now across, say, your business geographies, or if you want to even do things like understanding the risk level or the number of demands or questions coming in from various regions in India, you can do that, and even look at it as a forecasting tool to be able to visualize this on a map and then be able to say where your next demand is going to come up from. You want to think of where to set up your new offices. There are many more use cases. We'll surely drop a note to you with some of these use cases right after this webinar, and we can take this ahead then. I think that's about it with most of the questions. There are some more which are similar to the ones I've already addressed. We'll surely reach out to them on a one-on-one mail. That's mostly it from my side. Jolly, if there's anything you'd like to add, we can take that.
No, nothing for now. We'll keep you posted with the updates. As Vineet mentioned, we are coming up with few changes to the plan, and we'll keep you posted. So wait for our emails, and as soon as we have heads up for India market, we'll let you know much in advance. So don't worry, we are there to support you through GCP portal, through Google Maps console, be it anyway. But feel free to reach out to me. My email ID is my name, JOLLYAHUJA. No dot in between. It's just my name, Jolly Ahuja, at google.com. Feel free to share your questions, concern over an email to me as well as to Vineet. Thank you. Thanks for joining this webinar.
Great. Thanks so much, Jolly. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We'll drop a follow-up mail to all of you. And if there are any further questions, we'll take them for sure. Thanks. Bye.